Dorset Council's Licensing Subcommittee. My name's Derek Beer. I'm chairman of Dorset Licensing. I'll get everyone here to introduce themselves so that you know who they are, what they represent, and why they're here. All right? Okay. Thank you. So I've said who I am, and we're right.
My name is David Shortell. I represent West Morstan Three-Legged Cross, a member of this committee.
Good morning. I'm Councillor Sarah Williams. I represent Bridport.
Morning, I'm Lara Autry from Legal Services.
Hi, I'm Catherine Miller, Senior Licensing Officer and Report Author.
So I'm Josh Kennedy, Democratic Services.
John Miles, Democratic Services.
This one.
Good morning, my name's Jamie Brooks Dravets.
And my name is Kim Dravets. This is my son.
Now, before we go, we've got now what'll happen, we've got a few items of business we have to deal with legally, just to make sure it all goes off as it should. And then the licensing officer will say why we're here, and we'll just make sure we all understand what she's put to us, including you. When we're all clear and we understood what's in front of us, we'll come over to you, and you say, you tell us what you think would be right, that your premises will be right and proper or otherwise. We will ask questions of you afterwards, and then when we've made sure that everything's right and proper, and then after that you can come back, to come back on anything you might have thought about. When we've gone through all of that and we've dealt with everything that's legal and right and proper, and you're satisfied that it's all been done properly, we'll retire and consider everything we've heard and whether the licence that you've applied for is appropriate for what you're doing for the neighbours and for you and so on. Okay? Have you got any questions on that, or do you understand how we're going?
We understand, thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll just deal with the formalities, and firstly it's the election of chairman.
Thank you. I'd like to propose Derek Beer to chair.
I have great pleasure in seconding that proposition.
Thank you very much. We don't have any apologies. Do we have any declarations of interest? No? No. Okay, thank you. So in that case, we'll go over to Catherine to introduce which is before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This hearing is to consider a new premises licence application for River's Edge, 21 Lewis Way, Wimborne. The application is for alcohol sales for consumption on the premises, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 0900 to 1800 hours, and Thursday to Saturday, 0900 to 2300 hours. Although live and recorded music have been applied for, the Live Music Act 2012 allows that any premises with a licence for consumption of alcohol on the premises can have live amplified music and recorded music between 0800 and 2300 without a licence, provided there are no more than 500 people. The Live Music Act also states that any conditions relating to any of this entertainment would not have an effect between 8 AM and 11 PM. I'd like to clarify the application form attached at Appendix 1 shows the times for recorded music as 0900 to 0600 hours, Tuesday to Thursday. However, the hours are actually 0900 to 1800 hours. There is a glitch in our system which has incorrectly recorded the hours on the application form. The applicant has also included late night refreshment on the application for Fridays and Saturdays between 1600 and 2300 hours. However, this activity is only licensable between 2300 hours and 0500 hours. Therefore, as the hours stated on the application do not fall within the scope of this licensable activity, they will not be included on the licence if it were to be granted. Dorset requested a number of conditions to be added to the licence if it were to be granted. The applicant has agreed to these, and these conditions from the police can be found at Appendix 2. There was one relevant representation received from an interested party, which was made on the licence and objectives, the prevention of crime and disorder, and public nuisance. The interested party's comments can be found at Appendix 3. An email was sent by licensing to the member of the public on behalf of the applicant addressing the issues raised. The email also contained the conditions requested by Dorset Police, and the email for this can be found at Appendix 4. The member of the public did not respond to this email, whether or not their concerns had been alleviated. There was also a character reference which had been sent in by the applicant supporting the application, and I confirm that members and all interested parties have received a copy of this. The options that are available to the subcommittee today, after they have considered all the information contained in the report, the written representations and anything that is said at this hearing, so you can grant the licence subject to such conditions as the authority considers appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives and the mandatory objectives, to exclude from the scope of the licence any of the licensable activities to which the application relates, to refuse to specify a person on the licence as a designated premises supervisor, or to reject the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Are you happy you understood all that was straightforward and that reflects everything that you understood you're here for, yeah?
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions? No?
I don't think I have.
No? Any questions, Sarah?
No.
Okay, thank you. So, if you won't mind, the people who've made the representations aren't here, so it's just over to you to explain to us. We've heard you've agreed to the police's recommendations, and you've accepted that. And just tell us, in your own words, how you plan to operate to overcome those objections which have been, those representations that have been made. Is that okay? Thank you.
Thank you for being given the opportunity to say a few words first and foremost. Just a little bit of background on Mum and I. Mum and I have been working closely together for the last 10 years. The types of establishments that Mum and I have run, managed the last 10 years, they consist of Christchurch Harbour Hotel, the Royal Motor Yacht Club in Sandbanks, Number 9 restaurant in Wimborne, and then we recently sold our first restaurant, which we owned for 5.5 years, being the Wimborne Pig. We sold the Wimborne Pig because we were approached by David Wyatt, because Mr. Wyatt has recently built a new estate on the river's edge in Wimborne, and that's where his head office is going to be. And below his head office is going to be a 50-seater cafe bistro. We was approached by David Wyatt because of a level that we operate and have operated for a number of years. We don't run establishments that cause nuisance. We're very proud in what we do, and we operate at a very high level, so much so that even swearing is picked up on and told to stop. David Wyatt's offices are going to be above us, so obviously at lunchtime we expect a lot of his staff above us to come down and buy lunch from us also. We'll be looking to operate a breakfast and an afternoon cream tea midweek, and then we'll be off site by 6 o'clock. Considering the conditions and the economic environment for catering at the moment, it's ever so difficult to succeed just opening lunchtimes. Hence why we've applied for 2 evenings. We've also applied for 2 evenings because we've always worked around Rosette restaurants or Michelin recommended restaurants at a very decent level. And I would say that that's our strong point. And I think to be offered the local community and Wimborne the option of being able to sit on a riverside and have a nice meal on a Friday and Saturday evening, I think it's achievable, and we will do everything in our power, from even the planning of where our glass bins have been put, not having staff empty glass bins in the evening. Now, the 2 restaurants we have run in Wimborne, being Number 9 for 6 years and the Wimborne Pig for 5.5 years, they were terraced locations down in Westborough. So we had neighbours either side of us because it was a terrace format. And we have brought in a little testimony from one of our neighbours at the Wimborne Pig, which we sold in May, because she lived directly next door to us. And I just wanted you to have a sense of how we do operate and the fact that we do everything in our power to support the local community and be part of the local community. And it's not in our interest to bring nuisance and disruption to our doors. That's not how we operate, and we're not going to change the way we operate. That's really all I have to say without going on too much.
Thank you. That was really comprehensive and very easy to get our heads around. Thank you. Kim, was there anything you'd like to add?
That one. Just to really reiterate really what Jamie said, that we have worked together since he was 18 years old, and we bring like a family atmosphere into our restaurants. Our customers are our key, and that's what we've survived on, is our customer care and looking after the community and the people around. We understand taking over River's Edge, we are in the prime of this new housing development, but we've also made ways of the parking. The parking, we're going to sort of say to our customers that they can use the Westfield car park. We did a bit of an exercise the other day where Jamie and me parked our cars in Westfield like we used to at the Pig. Jamie walked to the Pig and I walked to River's Edge, and there's no difference in about a couple of minutes to River's Edge. So our customers at the Pig used to park in the Westfield car park. Now, I'm not saying there's always going to be somebody on a Friday and Saturday night that's going to probably try and park nearer to the restaurant, but we can keep an eye on this, which we will do, and make sure that, you know, they know that Westfield's there, and that when they leave and after having like a nice meal and that they go with respect for the people that are around us. I'd like to think that the housing estate would support us, which I think is what Mr. Wyatt said, that they would like to come down and have a glass of wine and a nice and fresh fish and that on the restaurant. And I think we need to sort of, we're going to gauge this, aren't we? We're going to sort of monitor it, ticked off, and see how we go, you know. And if we see any problems, or if there's any, you know, anything that does come up, we're very open. Yeah, we get people to come in and we talk to people and we talk to the neighbours and we deal with it then and then. So we are very considerate of our people, because we know without them we couldn't have done half of what we've done in Wimborne already. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else really to say, really.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. I think one of the things which what you've put in front of us is very straightforward and clear. One of the things which sometimes upsets neighbours around about is the elongated "bye darling, see you tomorrow" and all that sort of thing, and the slamming of car doors. Have you thought about that? And I'm really not trying to cause trouble. I'm just saying these things do crop up, and you, with your experience, you'll know about that it's the leaving quietly and leaving and respecting the neighbours sort of thing. Have you thought about that?
Absolutely. We'll be telling all of our customers, not so much in the daytime, because we'll be off site by 6 o'clock, but for the 2 evenings a week that we're looking to operate. 15 years of running 2 very beloved restaurants in Wimborne. We're going to have a lot of people that know Mum and I on a really close kind of personal level. And we will be openly telling people. We'll also have signage to be respectful of our neighbours, and we'll be directing where people should be parking and which way they should be walking. But I have to say, because of the way we do operate and the product that we do offer, generally speaking, our clientele is our age and above. And they're very, very respectful of what Mum and I have tried to achieve. And they've, unfortunately for us, we bought our first restaurant 3 months before COVID hit, being the Wimborne Pig. But I have to say, we survived. Not only survived, we flourished. We really did. And if it wasn't for the offer from David Wyatt, we may well still be there. It's just, it was a hard 5 years for us to earn the reputation that we had during those circumstances. But we went, do you know what? The River's Edge it's a very good option for us. It's a wonderful location. And for 2 people, well, definitely Mum, but for 2 people that have worked in the industry for a hell of a long time, the daytime operation is very, very appealing.
Thank you. So it's a way of life rather than a job. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll just go to my colleagues who, they've got questions.
Yeah, Derek's already mentioned sort of people leaving, but have you thought about us terrible smokers, and have you got a dedicated area?
We will certainly have a designated area because David White's the same, and he's asked us to make sure that we have an area slightly off-site for people to smoke. Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to ask exactly the same question. The area in which has been designated for smoking, would any of your clients be able to take their drinks out there at the time of having a quick cigarette, or and can they consume it on there, or would they have to leave their drinks behind to go out to smoke?
None of these are trick questions. They're just so we've buttoned everything up. Yeah.
No, I think we can say that they leave their drinks there. They actually go out. I mean, I'm a non-smoker, so if it was my way, I'd say that for the 2 hours that you're going to sit, if you can't go without a cigarette, but I know you can't say that. So I would say though that you can go out and have a smoke in the designated area, which is away from the restaurant and the housing estate, and then they come back and they have their drinks. No, I don't want them standing out there with drinking and causing noise and that out there. No, I think we start as we mean to go on that one. So.
Thank you for that. Any other questions? No? Catherine, any questions from you? Well, thank you for coming, and you've put everything very clearly. This is your chance to sum up. I don't want you driving back home and thinking, I wish we'd said that or thought about that. And so this is your chance to sum up. If you've got anything else to say, then take your time.
I think I've said most of what I wanted to say. It is a lifestyle for Mum and I. We haven't done anything else apart from travel in between, really, and the odd part-time job in between traveling. But it's a way of life for Mum and I, and we've got so much experience, very good experience when it comes to reading body language. Yeah, we've created a bit of a following, Mum and I'd like to say, for the last 12 years. There's good people. We wouldn't operate any other way. I wouldn't dream of operating any other way than as professional as we could. And I think that really does show in the last establishments that we've managed.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Have we done everything? Are you happy with everything?
Yes, I'm happy. I've got nothing further to add. Thank you.
And you have, yeah. So what we'll do, we'll go away and consider everything we've heard and consider whether the licence is appropriate, the conditions are appropriate, and such like. You'll be notified within 5 working days of our decision. And if there are any views you have that if you're not happy with the decision, you do have the right of appeal to the magistrate's court. Okay. So thank you very much for coming this morning. I'm sorry that we've had to go through, but the situation is if we get any representations, this is the right, proper way to deal with it, and then that's fair and proper. So thank you, and I hope the rest of your day is less stressful.
Thank you for your time, everyone. Thank you.
Okay.
and then press it again.
Good morning. Oh, we're not switched.
So, good morning. We'll ask the Senior Licensing Officer to explain to us why we're here and introduce the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, this is a hearing to consider a new premises licence application for Braithwaite's Board and Box, 2 Framwell Industrial Estate, Pimperm. The application is for alcohol sales for consumption on and off the premises, Monday to Saturday, 1600 to 2200 hours, and Sunday, 1200 hours to 2200 hours. Recorded music indoors has also been requested, Monday to Sunday from 0900 to 2200 hours. The Live Music Act allows any premises with a licence for the consumption of alcohol on the premises to have live, amplified and recorded music between 0800 and 2300 without a licence. This only applies when the audience is under 500 people and takes place when the premises are open and being used for the sale of alcohol for consumption on the premises. The Legislative Reform and Entertainment Licensing Order of 2014 amended the Licensing Act and states that any conditions on the premises relating to any of this entertainment would not have any effect between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. or when the premises are open and selling alcohol for consumption on the premises. Dorset Police requested a number of conditions to be added to the licence if it were to be granted, which the applicant has agreed to, and their conditions can be found at Appendix 2. There were 2 relevant representations received from members of the public. The representations were made on the licensing objectives of the crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. An email was sent by licensing to the interested parties on behalf of the applicant addressing the issues raised. The email also contained conditions that Dorset Police have requested. This email can be found at Appendix 3. Following the email from licensing, one of the interested parties withdrew their representation. The original representation of the remaining party can be found at Appendix 4. And the options that are available to the subcommittee today, after they have considered all the information contained in the report, the written representations and anything that is said at the hearing, is they can grant the licence subject to conditions as the authority considers appropriate for the promotion of the licence objectives and mandatory conditions, to exclude from the scope of the licence any of the licensable activities to which the application relates, to refuse to specify on the licence the designated premises supervisor, or to reject the application. Thank you.
Thank you. I forgot to run through the process. So what will happen, we'll receive that. We'll make sure that we all understand that, and if we've got any questions. And then after that, we'll come to you to say how you intend to run the premises and keep everybody happy and run it according to the licensing objectives. We'll then ask you any questions on that, on what you put to us, yeah, and then it'll be over to you to sum up. At the end of that, we'll just make sure that we've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, that everyone's happy with everything we've heard. We'll then retire, consider what we've heard, consider whether the license is appropriate or the conditions have to be added or taken away or whatever. And if you're happy with, if you've got any concerns over we'll then get back to you within 5 working days with our conclusions. If you've got any concerns over that or you disagree with that, then you do have the right of appeal to Magistrates' Court. Okay, you happy with the process? Okay, thank you. So, members, any questions of Catherine?
Not at the moment.
No, you understood the report as that's how you understood it? Yeah, okay, thank you. So, it's over to you, if you would, to explain to us how you intend to operate, really.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, this idea came from the unfortunate death of Peter's dad. We decided to buy his dad's house where he was born and turn it back into a restaurant up north near the lakes, which is where we're in the process of doing. But in that meantime, we decided to open a smaller sized venue where we live in Pimperne. We've lived there 23 years now. Our children have gone through school. Our grandchildren are now going through school there. We've got lots of friends, and we've decided to open this restaurant, mainly as well for our family, friends, and the local people that can't actually get out. We live in a village which is a lot of elderly people, which we're very aware of. So we wanted to open something that was a takeaway to them as well. When we first moved to Pimperne, we had 2 very, very well-supported pubs. One has coincidentally gone now in COVID, which is very sad. We have a little coffee shop, which a lot of them can get to, but we also lost our flourishing shop. So with what we're doing, we're also going to be doing a little service to the elderly of bread and milk and stuff like that for them during the day. We will only be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to start with, just to see how the business actually works and if it's working. We don't intend any trouble or any nuisance of any sort. We're not promoting let's get drunk in the bar. It's more a let's take away with our food. So we're doing all day Sunday dinners, takeaway. They can have a pint, which we're getting Hawkstones, lagers and cider from Jeremy Clarkson, because also where we are, we have a lot of farmers. We've had loads of support all over Facebook. We've had over 100 comments. Can't wait for it all to come to the village. So yeah, we're quite excited. So, don't know what else to say.
No, just that we want to give something back to the village, somewhere people can meet and get a takeaway. And
it's not your burgers or your fried chicken. It's pie and mash, sausage and mash, roast dinners. Something different.
Thank you. When I was reading through the papers, I thought, crikey, that's quite ambitious to do a roast dinner to take away. I thought, crikey, you really are. And it's good that you're putting something back into the village. It's a small village, isn't it? The only reason I go there is to visit the bus depot, but it's because that's quite a big employer there, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. I don't have any questions, I don't think, but I don't doubt my colleagues might. Sarah, have you?
Yeah. Will you be doing deliveries as well? So you'll have somebody sort of, particularly to the elderly, who might not be able to. Yeah. So you'll be delivering. Yeah. And that's fine.
I don't think I have any questions.
Quite often with premises which people drive to and take away and whatever, and I know your hours are quite restrained, but the control of noise and such, like people go, you'll have all that under control when you're like respecting people round about. You haven't got many people living around about there anyway, have you? So, not...
Where we are, no. Where we're going to be based, we're quite rural to the village. So we also have a gym, which is literally a footfall away from where we'll be. And that has over 100 cars coming past where we are constantly. So that won't, the traffic won't affect it. And we have actually bought a sustainable electric vehicle to do the deliveries in to keep everyone happy.
Okay, thank you. And you're happy, you've agreed the conditions, and okay. Anything else from you, Catherine?
I've got nothing further to add, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So no more questions. So this is your chance really just to, you put your case very well, and you're there to support the village and such like, and we understand that. Is there anything else you'd like to say in summing up? Because you're really cuss if you were halfway home and then you thought, I wish we'd said that.
I just want the village to be happy and it to be busy again. People to have the option to have a roast dinner on a Sunday just because they can't get out, they haven't got a car, or it's snowing, or the weather's bad. We live in the village, so we can work whether or not the weather's bad or not. We can walk around the village. It's not a problem. So hopefully we can offer something to the village, and I'm really excited to be able to do it now. My kids have grown up, my grandchildren are growing up, and it's something for me too. At the end of the day.
It's, certainly, we love the village, so we certainly don't want to upset anyone in the village. We want to give to the village, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. You might feel that this was not the best use of your time, but when there is a representation or people bring it forward, then there's a process we have to go through, and we have to make sure that they're listened to as well. You understand that, don't you? Yeah, okay, thank you. I'll just check. So I'll just check if we covered everything.
Just want to confirm that it's 21 days for the appeal.
Oh, pardon.
21 days for the appeal.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I was going to come to that when we've dealt with that. Yeah. You do have the right to appeal of our decision. So that is to the magistrates' court if you're unhappy with the decision we come to. Okay. You understand that? Thank you ever so much for coming this morning. Thank you. I know it's probably a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, but it wasn't that bad after all, was it? It's been fair and straightforward. Yeah, you've had a fair crack of the whip. Thank you very much for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day.